this gray being with large black eyes as the leader on the craft, where Betty found herself alone with this being and did not know where Barney was. Amateur astronomer Marjorie Fish studied a star map that Betty Hill drew under hypnosis that the gray being showed Betty in a technology that projected a three-dimensional hologram that showed this binary star system, Zeta 1 and Zeta 2 reticuli, about 40 light years from Earth. Our single yellow sun is shown in this illustration map as Sol on the upper right above Zeta Reticuli 1 and 2. From that September 1961 abduction case onward to this day, Zeta Reticuli 1 and 2 have been associated with alien humanoid species that interact with Earth. Well, that was 61 years ago with Betty and Barney Hill. And since then, there have been thousands of human and military whistleblower stories from around the world that describe encounters, even abductions by different types of non-humans in alien spacecraft, and sometimes even traveling to other star systems. What did the United States government know about extraterrestrial biological entities in that year of 1961 when Betty and Barney Hill were taken by gray beings with large dark eyes that might have been a technology of lenses? Last week, I introduced the first 2 pages of an 11-page leaked document prepared by MJ12 and about Project Aquarius, beginning with this top secret executive correspondence on the subject of Project Aquarius Top Secret, a document prepared by MJ12. I received these photograph pages in 2015 by hard mail, original source unknown. The next page says, TS, Top Secret Orcon, pro word dance. Orcon means this document is classified top secret, and Orcon means only the originator may release the information. It contains 16 volumes of documented information collected from the beginning of the United States investigation of unidentified flying objects known as UFOs and identified alien craft known as IACs. The project was originally established in 1953 by order of President Eisenhower under control of NSC, the National Security Council, and MJ12, the group brought together by Truman after the crashes in Roswell and the New Mexico in 47. And you can see that whole page in last week's May 18th Earth Files podcast. But now I am continuing with a new page of this executive briefing. In June 1947, a civilian pilot flying over the Cascade Mountains of Washington state observed 9 flying discs, later referred to as UFOs, unidentified flying objects, that Ken Arnold himself, who took the photos, said were shaped sort of like plates or had a wedge shape that curved. The commander, Air Technical Intelligence Center of the then Army Air Force, became concerned and ordered an inquiry. This was the beginning of the United States involvement with UFO investigations. In 1947, an aircraft of extraterrestrial, this is in this document, they keep using the word extraterrestrial origin, crashed in the desert of New Mexico. The craft was recovered by the military. 4 alien, non-Homo sapien bodies were recovered in the wreckage. The aliens were found to be creatures not related to human beings. See attachment 1. Sadly, the attachments were not included in these photographs of this document to me. In late 1949, another alien aircraft crashed in the United States and was recovered partially intact by the military. 1 alien of extraterrestrial origin survived the crash. The surviving alien was male and called itself EBA, an acronym that our government used for the words extraterrestrial biological entity, EBA. The alien was thoroughly interrogated by military intelligence personnel at a base in New Mexico. The alien's language was translated by means of picture graphs. I understand that the location for all of this was at Los Alamos. It was learned the alien came from a planet in the Zeta Reticuli star system, approximately 40 light years from Earth. EBA lived until June 18, 1952, when he died of an unexplained illness. During the time period that EBA was alive, he provided valuable information regarding space technology, origins of this universe, and exobiological matters. Further data is contained in attachment 2, which we do not have. The recovery of alien aircraft led the United States on an extensive investigative program to determine whether these aliens posed a direct threat to our national security. In 1947, the newly created Air Force initiated a program to investigate incidents involving UFOs. The program was operated under 3 different code names: Grudge, Sign, and finally, Blue Book. The original mission of the Air Force program was to collect and analyze all reported sightings or incidents involving UFOs and to determine whether the information could be interpreted as having any bearing on the security of the United States. Some information was evaluated with the idea of using the gained data to advance our own space technology and future space programs. 90% of the estimated 12,000 reports analyzed by the Air Force were considered hoaxes, explained aerial phenomena, or natural astronomical objects. The other 10% were considered legitimate alien sightings and or incidents. However, not all UFO sightings or incidents were reported under the Air Force program. In 1953, Project Gleam, which became Project Aquarius in 1966, was a parallel reporting system for UFO sightings and incidents. Reports collected under Project Aquarius were considered actual sightings of alien aircraft or contact with alien life forms. Most reports were made by reliable military and Defense Department civilian personnel. In 1958, the United States recovered a 3rd alien aircraft from the desert of Utah. The aircraft was in excellent flying condition. The aircraft was apparently abandoned by the aliens for some unexplainable reason, since no alien life forms were found in or around the aircraft. Well, I will offer that it was put there as a gift. In 1983, when I was working on the HBO documentary UFOs, the ET Factor, a military source told me about how the ETs in 1958 gave a gift, he called it, a fully functioning, extremely advanced craft that was set down in the southwest corner of Hill Air Force Base in Utah, 30 miles north of Salt Lake City. When a military unit approached the mysterious craft, they could see into the interior of the craft, apparently left open on purpose by the ETs. He said inside the craft were what looked like hockey pucks, levitating in columns of light that were rising and falling in the columns of light. Nothing about the craft was understood in 1958, except that extraterrestrials had deliberately set the craft down at Hill Air Force Base, powered up and functioning, but the human military and scientists had no idea what they were looking at. I understood back then that because no human knew how to move or fly the craft, the powers that be decided to build a hangar building right around the craft where they found it. I've always wondered if it's still there, or if the ET owners of the craft decided to teach humans more about it and perhaps moved it to another part of the Utah base that is even more secret than the original 1958 site. The aircraft was considered a technological marvel by United States scientists, according to Project Aquarius. However, the operating instrumentations of the aircraft were so complex that our scientists could not interpret their operation. The aircraft was stored in a top security area and analyzed throughout the years by our best aerospace scientists. The United States gained a large volume of technological data from the recovered alien aircraft. A detailed description and further information regarding the aircraft is explained in Attachment 3, which I wish we had. If anybody has it, send it to me and I'll share it with you. And to the next page, T.S. Orcon, again, several independent scientific investigations at the request of the Air Force and CIA were initiated during the era of Project Blue Book. MJ-12 decided that officially the Air Force should end their investigation of UFOs. This decision was arrived at during a meeting in which the blurry acronyms at this point in this document are hard to read, but it might be WPN, which is Weapons Procurement Navy Appropriations, that a meeting was held in 1966 to discuss this, and the reason was twofold. By then, the United States had established communication with the aliens. By 1966, I think it happened in 1965 or 4. The United States felt relatively sure the aliens' exploration of Earth was non-aggressive and non-hostile. It was also established that the aliens' presence did not directly threaten the security of the United States. Secondly, the public was beginning to believe that UFOs were real. The NSC, the National Security Council, felt this public feeling could lead to a nationwide panic. The United States was involved in several sensitive projects during this time period. It was felt that public awareness of these projects would have jeopardized the future space program of the United States in the 60s and beyond. Therefore, MJ-12 decided that an independent scientific study of the UFO phenomena would be needed to satisfy public curiosity. The final official study of the UFO phenomena was accomplished by the University of Colorado under Air Force contract. The study concluded that sufficient data did not exist that would indicate UFOs threatened the security of the United States. But for real researchers, real scientists, real military, they completely disagreed and felt that the Condon Committee had done a service for the Air Force, but not for the American public. The final conclusion satisfied the government and allowed the Air Force to officially step out of the UFO investigating business, close quote. But if all was peaceful, why wouldn't our government in 1966 or any other year just tell us the truth that we're not alone and this universe is teeming with other intelligences? When the Air Force officially closed Project Blue Book in December of 1969, Project Aquarius continued operation under control of NSC MJ-12 secretly. The NSC felt investigations of UFO sightings and incidents had to continue in secrecy without any public knowledge. The reasoning behind the decision was this: if the Air Force continued its investigation of UFOs, eventually some uncleared and unbriefed Air Force or Defense Department civilian officials would obtain the facts behind Project Aquarius. Obviously, for operational security reasons, this could not be allowed.
Hey guys, hey Third Eye, hey Dolly, long time no see. Happy holidays, everybody. I'm I'm just finishing up for the night. I just got through cooking up some tacos, and yeah, just settling in for the night. I'm feeling kind of tired. So I'm about to go turn it in here in a minute after I get through sifting through some of these gigapans. But listen, I found an amazing find, guys, today. The other day, I want to say day before yesterday, we were looking through, and maybe it was even partly a part of yesterday, we were looking through MSL Sol 1099, and I circled or had highlighted or whatever what looks to be like some kind of, I don't know. It almost like give me, I get like grasshopper vibes, cricket. Um, it's very difficult to tell. It's almost like I see one, two, like three heads on this thing, right? It's very strange. But then today, I started looking at this MSL Soul 1519, and I seen a very similar looking creature here. It looks very similar. I mean, very similar. Very weird. And I think their heads are almost flat like, almost reminds me of like looking down at a crocodile. Um, you know, lizard like. It almost looks like you could right here with this guy, you can literally see two eyes, almost what looks to be like a mustache, like a flat mushroom like head, but still though, the similarities, right? And I mean, you could almost say you see a head right here, toward at the left right there, but it's very similar here too. But you also see at the end of it another head almost coming out the other end with that flathead look. Y'all remember the what was it? Shoot, it wasn't too long ago. Let me see if I can find it. There's a photo that I took. Yeah, man, it is wild. This is a photo that I grabbed. This is from the Perseverance shell that protected the Perseverance rover on its journey to Mars. This is a photo that a still from photo collected of the site. We've got clear photoshopping very evident, but what in the heck, right? And it's got that whole flat head, crocodile head looking head, but in a different way, with an almost curled back, very awkward looking, right? So, mm, anyway, guys, that's what I'm doing today. I really, it's really great seeing all of you. Good to see you, Dolly. Long time no see. Good to see you, Third Eye, y'all. I'm about to get up out of here, but yeah, very interesting, right? Anyway, that's all I'm doing.
Out. In order to continue the investigation of UFO sightings and incidents in secrecy, investigators from CIA, DCD, and MJ-12 were assigned to military and other governmental agencies with orders to investigate all legitimate UFO IAC sightings and incidents. CIA/DCD is the CIA's data center dynamics that tracks, collects, and analyzes information about foreign governments, corporations, and people. These agents are presently operating at various locations throughout the United States and Canada, All reports are filtered either directly or indirectly to MJ12. These agents are collecting reports of UFO IAC sightings and incidents occurring on or near sensitive governmental installations. Note, aliens have been extremely interested in our nuclear weapons and nuclear research. Many reported military sightings and incidents occur over nuclear weapons bases. The aliens' interest in our nuclear weapons can only be attributed to the future threat of a nuclear war on Earth. The Air Force have initiated measures to assure the security of the nuclear weapons from alien theft or destruction. And MJ12 feels confident the aliens are on an exploration of our solar system for peaceful purposes. However, we must continue to observe and track the aliens' movement until it is determined that the aliens' future plans contain no threat to our national security or the civilization of Earth. What bothers me about that paragraph is that the DIA analyst retiring in December of 1999 that I have talked to you about many times on my Earth Files YouTube channel.
Always,
He
Chica,
organized a meeting
always.
with me
And,
through a World Bank
I don't
associate,
even know if you're modded up
stressed
over
that his
here,
work was to
Dolly, on this
analyze and
channel. I don't
monitor.
think I have any moderators on this channel. So it's really awesome to see you. And thanks for coming through on the Mars content, by the way. But yeah, if you're wondering what the audio is, it is Linda Moulton Howe telling us about the Project Aquarius documents that kind of go into detail about some of the various projects the United States military has had. But it's very, very good to see you.
3 competing and in conflict extraterrestrial species that have been fighting over control of Earth for at least 270 million years, not 5,000 years. There are so many government policies of denials and flat out lies about what has happened between extraterrestrial beings and our government and other governments since World War II that it's difficult sometimes to separate facts from CIA, DIA, NSA political strategies. Most governmental documents pertaining to UFO sightings, incidents, and governmental policies, including the defunct Project Blue Book, have been released to the public under FOIA or under various other release programs. MJ12 felt the remaining documents and information outside or not relating to Project Aquarius, but relating to technological facts regarding alien medical matters, the fact that an alien was captured alive and survived for 3 years under secrecy cannot be released to the public for fear the information would be obtained by all caps SHIS. That is possibly an acronym for a security agency in Saudi Arabia. Why is that sensitive? If anyone knows more about the SHIS,